Let me just tell you how I got really interested in parenting. It was when my daughter was about 4 years old. No, I thought I was the world's best parent. No, I used to play with her, do everything for her, feed her, give bath to her, and all these things. But at one incident, when she did not do something, when she didn't pick up a wrapper and put it in the dustbin in one of our neighbor's house, I got so angry and I hit her. And at that time, in that moment, I got emotional. I started crying, and then I realized that what I thought that I was such a great parent does not, actually appear in reality. I lost my cool for a second, and then I lost all the parenting things. Then slowly I got interested in parenting. And when I was doing my internship in Baptist Hospital in Bangalore for psychology, I realized one thing. When we were seeing all the teenage students coming to the psychologist or psychiatrist and expressing their problems to the doctor, surprisingly, none of them expressed these things to their parents. And this was a big concern, because we say family is the best unit. You should be open. That is the time we spend the maximum time. But in reality, children are actually escaping from parents, right? Like many of the people told, uh, how do we define parenting? Is there anything called as an ideal parenting? I don't know whether there is something called as an ideal parenting. And I called my entire parenting coaching sessions, which I do. I've created a course called Parent as Coach and Counselor, because I realized that the counselors have an art of listening to the children without judgment. And parents make the biggest mistake of judging or suspecting their children at every point in time. And that is where they start getting alienated from parents. So I call my parenting also called the doing nothing method, maybe something like the idle parent. I say, don't do anything on your children. You have to do everything on your own self. Children will grow automatically, but are you growing as a parent? Right? A child, if a child does a mistake, and if the parent is losing his emotional balance, and if the parent is getting angry at that point of time, you are actually telling that small child, hey boy, you may be 4 years, 5 years, or 6 years old, but I am 40, 45, or 50-year-old man, but you need to behave properly for me to have my emotions in control. And that's the biggest mistake that each one of us does, right? So we cannot control the behavior of children. We cannot change the behavior of children by doing these controlling methods. But everything that you do in response to what a child does is what is going to happen in the child's life after that. Just like many people told, no, technology is useful, but how do you ensure that the child uses it properly? Restricting it completely, will it do the right thing? May not be. But again, the problem is sometimes when the child is less than 1 or 2 years old, parents today find it more convenient to give a mobile so that the child listens to them. The child start eating when the mobile is on. Child start eating when the TV is on. So you use this to make your life convenient. And then after they go to around the sixth or seventh or eighth standard, then is where the alienation from children to parents start. And if you ask most of the children, I'm not saying all, you just talk to children and see, they will say that they don't like their parents because they keep nagging them continuously. Right? And two things what parents can do. I'm just telling that universally what we can do. Is there a universal method? Is there a right method? I don't know. But there are certain things that each parent can do and certain things that each one of us should not do. One is expecting the child to do things what we feel is right for them. That will not work at all. And it can come from two things. If the parent had a childhood which had a lot of unmet dreams, he wanted to become something he could not become, he wants his child to become that. And he says, I am doing all this because I know this is good for you. And the child in the initial stages, because of the parental control, might listen for some time. Later, he might either become a rebel, or because if the parental controls are very strong, he might listen to the parent, do what the parent says, but lifelong, he will start hating the parent. And for any child, the only thing that they would expect from parents is something called as an unconditional love. That is, don't restrict your love because of what I do or what I don't do. So if a child does a mistake, sit and ask him whether he has understood from the mistake, or let him do the mistake and learn from him, make him responsible for the consequences. But if we do certain control measures, that if the child is doing a mistake, and if I stop talking to him, or if I restrict certain things to him, the child will start feeling that my parents don't like me. And that is the biggest problem which every child starts facing at some point of time or the other. Next thing, what a parent should never ever do is, do not compare children to anybody else's children or to their own siblings as well. Because as somebody said, every child is unique. Every child has a blueprint to grow. We parents should be just like farmers who will provide the environment where the child grows. We cannot change the destiny of a child, but we can forcefully maybe do something, but the child will not ever live a life of fulfillment at all. So two things what parents can do is, accept your child the way he or she is, provide the right kind of environment, and let the child grow. Let the child make mistakes, but let the child be responsible for the mistakes they do, and let them also face the consequences for it. Right? And stop comparing between other children or even our own children as well. Right? So I think with these few words, I would like to sum up and say, there is nothing called as a universal way of parenting, but there are certain things that which every parents must do, and that is, don't make your ambitions, your dreams, your things what you feel is right for the child, and don't force it onto the child. The child might listen because the child is small, but the child can either be a rebel or be a completely obedient child, but not a child who would like to continue the way he is doing. He might have a lot of other psychological problems that come out of it. So we are just like farmers, provide the environment, let them grow, because the blueprint is already there for them. And that is what each parent should be doing. Thank you.